What is up, guys? Welcome back to another follow-up video, and today I'm bringing you another episode of our top 5 mod series, but today is going to be a top 5 for weapon mods specifically, so just basically guns that are modded into the game that are actually in the stock game. And also, thank you guys so much for 4,000 subscribers. We hit it a lot faster than we did 3,000, so hopefully you guys do enjoy this video. If you do, make sure to like and subscribe, and let's get right into it.
Divine, but I'm going nowhere. Oh, yeah, I'm the type of guy that likes to roam around.
Alright guys, the first gun we have is Dane's Rifle, and it was created by Sarge Schultz 11, and basically the description of this mod says, this mod adds a custom combat rifle that shoots alien blaster rounds and has an ash pile enchantment and can be modified to any weapon's workbench. To find this weapon, just go ahead and go to Vault 111 right here on the map and go to the little elevator station behind it, and behind the elevator station you will actually see a little red trunk, and in that red trunk there's going to be a whole bunch of things called alien blaster rounds, stim packs, and Dane's Rifle itself. So go ahead and just take all of them. You're going to need those alien rounds later, and surprisingly Dane's Rifle is not a legendary weapon, but it does have very good range and accuracy. If you want to take the rifle to a weapons workbench, you can go ahead and take it there and customize it pretty much on anything such as the receiver, the barrel, the stock, magazines, sights, and the muzzle. But when it is stock, it's actually a semi-automatic rifle, and it is very good at long range, as you can see in the gameplay. In the gameplay I'm showing here, I'm trying to demonstrate how good of long range it is. It's sort of like a delayed round, so when you shoot, it takes a little bit for the actual energy rounds to make it there, but once they get there, you know, they do still maintain a lot of damage even at longer ranges. And then later on I'm demonstrating the actual hip fire accuracy of it, which is decent, but it is a semi-automatic gun after all, so it's not going to be the best for hip firing, so you're going to want to stay at range with this weapon. It does get a little difficult to hit moving enemies at a longer range just because the rounds can take up to like a second for them to actually reach your target depending on the actual distance from them, and I wouldn't recommend shooting anybody longer than this distance right here just because it's going to be very hard to hit them in the long run. But if you do go ahead and take it to a weapons workbench, you can customize it to make it fully automatic, and you can probably make it so it shoots other rounds just besides the alien rounds if you do somehow run out of them, even though they do give you like 65,000 stacks of them. Overall, it definitely deserves a spot on this top 5 list, even though really it's not really in order. These are just kind of a compilation of the best ones that I've found personally and that I've used in general, and overall it's a very, very good weapon. Quick note about this gun, the mod creator does actually say he plans to update it more and add a whole bunch of stuff to it that you can add to it and things like that. And another quick note before we go too deeper into this top 5, I'm not going to really put in weapons that are just super OP, but more of like weapons that are more fun than usual, just like keep the game fun and not put in like a minigun that shoots 500 mini nukes per second. The next weapon we have is the Clockwork Favor, a unique institute gun for the PS4, and it was created by Indian95, and this is actually a very good mod creator. He creates a lot of good mods that I recommend, and I have used these on my channel several times. And in the description it says, this mod is directly related to my follower mod, Clockwork Assets Companion. Of course, external assets aren't allowed on the PS4, which means almost all follower mods can't be uploaded. Because of this, I decided to create a special weapon for PS4 users. In terms of story, Clockwork's Favor is a legendary institute gun given to the sole survivor by Clockwork as a gift, as well as a sign of thanks and friendship. This weapon can be found in Sanctuary Hills on the map over here, and if you go to the little blue house in the corner, you can go to like behind the little shrubs, and there will be a institute little container there. Inside that container, there's going to be the actual weapon called the Clockwork's Favor, and it is going to be a legendary variant. The legendary effect makes it so critical shots do double damage, and the critical meter fills 15% faster as you are killing enemies. And as far as I'm concerned, I'm pretty sure you can actually take this to a weapons workbench and mod it so you can upgrade the capacitor and barrel and grip and sights and stuff like that. But just as the stock weapon, this gun is very good. Clockwork modified the weapon to be more powerful than a standard institute gun, with a base damage of 31 instead of the standard 21. Clockwork's Favor also has the legendary Luckin weapon enchant so that the critical hits do double damage, including bashing damage. The mod creator also says that he intended the Clockwork's Favor to be a melee weapon as well, so he says he recommends using it with the tackle knockdown version of the mod. And as I am demonstrating on screen right now, the hip fire of this weapon is actually very, very well, except the only thing it does like second is its range, just because it is really hard to hit with at a range, just because its rate of fire is so massive and it gets kind of hard to control at a larger distance. I would recommend upgrading the ammo capacity on this weapon just because it has a really big rate of fire and you do go through 21 rounds very quickly, but those 21 rounds do a lot of damage just because it has a lot more damage than the actual standard Institute pistol. When you're using this weapon at a range, I recommend shooting it in bursts just because its rate of fire is, again, just so much, and I am demonstrating right here, even at ranges, it still kills in like 3 to 4 shots, but once you get to the larger regions, it's going to kill to like 5 to 6 shots. The only sort of downside with this mod is that the mod creator doesn't really give you a whole bunch of ammo at the beginning of it, so you're going to have to save up a whole bunch of fusion cells because this thing does blow through ammo very quickly. And you're gonna have to be kind of being a little cautious on the ammo you use just because he doesn't give you like 65,000 fusion cells like he did in the previous mod. But overall, this is a very, very good mod and I do truly recommend it. Our next weapon we have is the Ghost Gun for PS4 by Indian95 again, and this mod places a mythic assault rifle in the Museum of Witchcraft. It does 50 base damage compared to the usual 30. It also has a legendary rapid effect which does 25% faster fire rate and 15% faster reload, and the magazine has a 900 round capacity, so you probably won't need to reload too much. You can find this weapon at the basement of the Museum of Witchcraft, which is basically on the coast of the other side of the island, which is compared to right here from Sanctuary. And once you go to the Museum of the Witchcraft, go over to where I am on the map and just follow where I'm going, and the basement is going to be in the little corner over here when you go down the stairs to your left when you go down here, and if you keep going straight through here, it's going to be on your room on your right, and in there's going to be like a little suitcase on the floor with the ghost gun in it next to a little Leo's final words holotape, which is just something that tells you how the gun got there and what it's about. This gun is fully customizable whenever you take it to a weapons workbench to be modded, such as the receiver, the barrel, the stock, the magazine, the scope, and the muzzle. This weapon is very easy to use at range considering it has a scope that adds magnification to enemies when they are at a distance, and the 999 round magazine helps a lot too. The recoil on the weapon is relatively fine, and the reload speed also helps a lot, even though you don't really reload that much anyway, but it's just kind of a habit I've gotten into where even if I'm not really that much out of ammo, before I go into like a room with a whole bunch of enemies, I just have to have a full magazine anyway. And the weapon's extra 25% fire rate from its legendary ability also makes it so you can put a lot of rounds down range pretty fast, even though that is a semi-automatic weapon. But you can take it to the mod shop to make it fully automatic, I'm pretty sure. But the you don't really need it just because I like to use this weapon at a range anyway because it does very good damage. As you can see, I was shooting enemies that are like all the way across the map, and right here I'm demonstrating how good its actual hip fire accuracy is, which is actually really good for a semi-automatic weapon. Another really big plus about this weapon is that its carry weight is only 2.2, so it doesn't really take up very much space as a regular weapon would, so like if your inventory is really full, you don't have to worry about getting rid of that as well. The extra 50 base damage of this weapon does also helps take down enemies really fast, especially like strong enemies such as super mutants and stuff like that. And overall, it is a very, very good gun. This assault rifle pretty much feels like an LMG just because of the insane ammo capacity without the actual carry weight of an LMG. So it is definitely a worthy spot on this top 5 list. The next weapon we have is the 40mm shotgun by Spedunk 1986, and it doesn't give much of a description of this mod, but it does say it is a missile launcher converted to a 40mm shotgun. So you can see how this is going to do a lot of damage. This weapon can be found at Sanctuary, pretty much right by the Institute gun where that cabinet was, except when you do that, just come over here to the little blue house again and go into the little root cellar. Once you go into the root cellar, you're going to come down the ladder, and basically you're going to be in this little room, and to the left of you there is going to be a little missile launcher on the wall, and leaned up against a little barrel, and you're going to pick it up, and that's going to be the 40mm shotgun. This weapon does 920 base damage with 203 range, which is very good for a shotgun considering that it is a shotgun after all. This weapon is fully customizable when you take it to a weapons workbench where you can go ahead and customize the barrel, the muzzle, and like the sights and stuff like that. The only really downside to this weapon is that it only holds 1 round at a time, but that 1 round does a lot of damage. It can also do collateral damage just because it is a shotgun round, so the like little BBs spread out after a long distance. And later I'm going to demonstrate the actual range that this thing can handle. Like, it can spread out just as far as that assault rifle could in some cases. Like, when you're aiming down your sight and you shoot at a far distance, it's going to take down enemies in like 2 shots, even if like you were over like 100 meters away. It's pretty crazy how much range this thing has. And overall, there's nothing really just too special about this weapon. It's just kind of fun to use just because it does so much damage after all, and it can be really helpful to take down really big enemies such as super mutants and stuff like that. And it is definitely a worthy spot on this top 5. The final weapon we have is Lag's Weapon and Armor Pack by ECW Null, and this isn't really just a specific weapon, but it's actually just a whole bunch of weapons added together, and just because these weapons are pretty good without like making them super OP, I just thought I'd add them in as the last spot on the list. This mod does add a alien rifle, an alien laser gun, an alien shotgun, old tumbler, nuka balls, and this is just ammo for old tumbler. It adds the Ranger's coat, Ranger's jeans and jacket, and renames Arturo to Zlags and makes him a better style. And it says there is more coming in this mod. And all these weapons can be found in the same exact spot as the last weapon just by going to the root cellar, and instead of going to your left, just looking ahead of you, and there's going to see a whole bunch of other rounds such as the alien blazer and stuff like that, along with ammunition and armor to go along with those weapons. The first weapon it gives you is the alien blaster pistol, which is exactly the same as the blaster pistol that you get in the actual base game. I don't know why it's really in this mod. I guess maybe if you never got it. But it is just a normal blaster pistol that holds like 55 rounds of ammunition that you can just shoot over and over again because it's semi-automatic, and it does pretty good damage. The next gun is the alien laser, which is basically just a Gatling gun that is converted into alien blaster rounds so you can shoot. And this is personally my favorite just because it's so cool. Like even when you're shooting it in like third person, it just looks super cool to shoot people. And it does go through a lot of ammo very quickly, so be careful on that. Maybe you can switch it so it uses fusion cells instead of alien rounds if you run out of those, but overall, it's my favorite gun. The next weapon is the alien rifle, which is basically the same as the alien Gatling gun, except that it isn't actually an LMG. This is like an assault rifle because you can like fire it like from your shoulder and stuff like that, and it's not as heavy. So you're going to have a faster mobility, and it does have really bad recoil, but I mean, when you're closer at range, it's pretty easy to aim at, and it's still a really good gun to use. It does shoot alien rounds, unlike the previous guns, so you don't have to worry about running out of ammo. So that's pretty much all I have for you today, guys. Hopefully you did enjoy this top 5 mods video. It's kind of different than the actual normal ones I do, just because it's all based on weapons. I know a lot of you guys like to see weapons that aren't just stupid OP, and actually just make the game more fun. So if you guys did enjoy this video, make sure to like, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.
I seen a lot of shit I shouldn't have, but never forgot it though. Brothers on the corner selling crack like it was not a though. Walk inside my kitchen, baking soda all up on the floor. Police banging on the door while gripping the 44. I was just a youngin', but this type of shit I seen before. Y'all see a white boy, but my daddy a Negro. Half-breed motherfucker grip the mic and he